Jodi Brown from Buzzword, and today I'm explaining web hosting. Web hosting is kind of like shed storage. So you don't actually own the shed, you pay for the space and you put all your stuff in it. Web hosting is exactly the same. So you'll pay a web hosting provider. I'll use Buzzword as an example. We've got our servers located down in Melbourne, a data center down there, very secure, easy accessed, very user friendly, and we've been hosting there for quite some time, and we've actually had about well over 99.9% uptime over the last 2 years since we started. Now, web hosting is basically where your website lives, where your email lives, or where your DNS lives, or a combination of all three. Now, web hosting is kind of like shed storage. You don't own the shed, you pay a rental on that shed, and you get to put all your stuff in there, and you just pay a rental fee. Now, if you stop paying, they can change the locks on your shed and you lose access to all your stuff. Well, it's exactly the same with web hosting. So, Buzzword, for example, we own the servers, and you own everything that's in your shed. Now, that might be a website, it might be a website that you've built, that Buzzword's built, or somebody else has built, and we just provide the storage for that website. Now, we also make sure that the security's tight. So again, taking the analogy of a shed, storage shed, we've got security cameras, we've got voice activation, thumbprint IDs, all those sort of things to make sure that all your stuff, your website, is secure. Now, a lot of companies just throw together some hosting and sell it off cheap. Now, that's all good and well, but you really need to have access to the support if something goes wrong. And that's what Buzzword, we pride ourselves on, is having that local access. You can pick up a phone and talk to one of us really quickly and get the answers that you need. So web hosting, again, it's where you store your website. You don't own the shed, but you own your stuff. So it's your responsibility to make sure that your stuff is in good working order. So for example, your website. You're responsible for the lock on your door of your shed. Same with your website. You need to make sure that it's secure. So if Buzzword build it, then it's going to be secure. If you build it yourself, you need to be responsible for that security. And if something goes wrong, if your website gets hacked or something like that, then the hosting provider has the ability to turn off your site, shut it down, jump in there if they need to, and assist to get it back up and running. But that's the main part of web hosting. So think of it just like a storage shed. It's where you keep your storage, keep your stuff, keep your website. So if it's emails or if it's web, and DNS is a whole nother blog topic, but hopefully that sort of explain what web hosting is. If you've got a domain name like buzzword.net.au, you need to host it somewhere, and that's what Buzzword, a big part of our business, is hosting. Hopefully that's cleared some of the questions up around web hosting.